I've tried every app, killed every notification, tried every single social media blocker in the past couple of years, but I still kept falling into internet rabbit holes. I found something that finally worked, and it was turning my entire screen blood red. It gives you back multiple hours a day if you're struggling with internet addiction, with binge watching. Unlike with social media blockers that block the distractions, this blocks the whole system. This fucks up the whole system. And you can still watch YouTube videos when you don't have anything else to do. You will not end up back at cycles of binging for hours and hours. Hi, I'm Nick Ambrush. I've been coaching guys out of porn addiction for years, and I've been also fighting my own battle with internet addiction or binge watching YouTube or series, etc. So, a couple of things I've tried over the past couple of years that didn't really work was deleted all the social media apps from my phone, and I disabled all the push notifications from everywhere. Sure, these things helped on a smaller scale, and it helped me not get dragged out of focus, but on a larger scale, I still ended up browsing other forums like Reddit. And once I blocked Reddit as well, I just kept discovering new ways to browse. It's very similar to porn addiction. You know, when you just use porn blockers, your brain always just tries to find new ways to make sure that you get your dose. And as I said, still ended up doom scrolling, still ended up just binging long form videos because I disabled all the shorts. And so one of these days, I just sat down and watched like a 3 hour long form video, and somebody was ranting about how casinos specifically used blue light everywhere to trap people. And they even removed the windows, not just because so the people don't have a sense of, what time of the day it is, but also so the only light that they get is from the machines that emit the blue light. We already know that blue light wrecks sleep, but it also fucks with your circadian rhythm. And I did a bit of light research, and I found that when you mess with your circadian rhythm, when you mess with your melatonin, you're fucking with your frontal lobe, which in some ways or other fucks with your dopamine reward system. So very similar to porn addiction, it can overload, overstimulate, seeing blue light the whole day. If you're if you have a problem with internet addiction and you see blue light the whole day, it fucks with your dopamine reward system and overloads it. And so once you're trying to convince yourself to do something else, go outside, play some sports, it's a lot harder to get started. So I just had like a epiphany, an idea. What if I removed all of the blue light completely? I already knew Brian Johnson, the founder of Don't Die, uses a red color filter at night. So I was like, all right, let's turn that on the whole time. Let's use it for the whole day. And so this is how the experiment started. I set my laptop, I set my phone to absolutely zero blue light emitted. Only colors that were coming from the screen was red and black. This is better than monochrome, by the way, which is black and white, because white still illuminates a little bit of blue light. And even about an hour later, I realized that the sunlight looks different. Everything that's outside of the screen is more stimulating. I sat in front of the screen and I felt bored, and it was very uninspiring. So it made me do something else. I went to the gym, I talked to people, and my goal while doing this experiment was to read more. So that's what I did. I could still scroll, I could still watch videos, but the difference was I could stop exactly when I wanted to stop the doom scrolling, stop watching videos. So unlike with social media blockers that block the distractions, this blocks the whole system. This fucks up the whole system. And you can still watch YouTube videos when you don't have anything else to do. You will not end up back at cycles of binging for hours and hours. with no end. So that's what happened. I even re-enabled YouTube sidebar, so that helped me if I did some specific targeted research, or wanted to watch something very specific, like I wanted to do better. I wanted to have a better understanding of how to lean bulk, which is like a fitness bodybuilding related stuff. Very, very useful. And so, yeah, it works. The red light filter works because the blue light is the thing that overloads your dopamine system, and you become sort of helpless, in my experience, to basically fall into the trap. You let yourself fall into the trap of being in these addictive loops of binge watching, of doom scrolling, because the blue light that's outside is less stimulating. And scrolling, it just doesn't feel like anything. It feels like cold coffee or drinking like stale beer. It's like, meh, I don't really want to do this. Like, sure, if I'm interested in like watching a review of something, I'll do it, but I don't want to stay there and then watch 10 consecutive reviews and then watch reviews of different products. I mean, you know how these rabbit holes go. That is completely stopped with this setting. So it's been about a week, and I have to say, this is my report video. There are some serious, serious drawbacks to this. First of all, the red filter everywhere makes a lot of sites completely unusable. The worst offenders were government sites where the important stuff is written in red, and things that are blue become black, but things that are red become like very hard to read, basically invisible against a white background. Many of these official government sites use that, so it's very important, if you don't want the misinformation, to turn your screen back. Another worst offender is Google Calendar. So I was not only uninspired to use the screen to binge, I also got very uninspired to use the screen for time blocking. And I rely on Google Calendar as it is better than a paper tracker or a paper time blocker that you would have to write out by hand. And it made me honestly less productive. The same thing is true for my Notion systems. So, as you know, I do coaching and I rely on Notion systems for that, and also for my own self improvement. I just rely on my own systems. And this does not discriminate. When you put the red light filter on, there's no discrimination. You will hate using your computer. The only thing I looked forward to during this week was reading, and I read a lot on my laptop. So that is a huge W. I read more in the last week than I did in the last probably half a year, which is insane. That is huge. So yeah, paper planners, paper habit trackers like this, they didn't work as well as a Notion system that I've perfected for years now, and a Google Calendar also that have been perfected for almost like quarter of a decade at this point. So what's the situation now? So I realized that obviously this has limitations. You can still set the red light filter in a way that you can barely tell the difference between like green and red, and it causes very little eye strain. And I think, I don't know how it's associated, but I feel like eye strain is a part of the issue. And when you use these color filters, your eye becomes less used to eye strain, which is in a way nice, because you realize if you sit in front of your screen for a long time that, damn, my eyes literally hurt. I shouldn't sit in front of my screen for so long. So for my laptop, I had to switch the whole thing off when I'm working, because I realized that when I'm in front of the blue light, it makes me more motivated to do whatever's in front of me. It's very similar to coffee. When you drink coffee, I notice when I'm doing bullshit stuff, I'll just do the same bullshit more intensively. But if I drink coffee while I'm working, it makes me more focused doing the work. So I will keep my phone with the red light filter as it is, and I will use the laptop for work without the red light filter, and I will put the filter back on after work. That's it. That's my 1 week update. And I really, really wish there was a way to put a grayscale mode and the red light filter on at the same time, but on an operating system level for these Apple devices, I couldn't find an easy way to have the grayscale and then the red light filter on at the same time. So maybe there are some software. If there is and you know about it, please let me know in the comments. I would love to experiment more on this. So yeah, what's the conclusion about this whole situation? So the red light filter is extremely brutal, but it works really, really well. And the beauty about it is you don't have to rely on anything because it is very natural that you don't want to be in front of a screen that has no blue light in it. At least not as much. You know, you will still end up scrolling if you actually want to scroll or if you just want to kill time. But whenever it's like, hey, it's time to go to the gym, hey, it's time to, get ready for some social event, you're not like, oh shit, well, I still have like 10 minutes, let me just use the internet for a little longer. Because at that point, the internet uses you, right? When you put this filter on, that all changes, the whole relationship. So this is a very general fix for the whole screen addiction thing. It gives you back multiple hours a day if you're struggling with internet addiction, with binge watching. And yeah, if you're interested, just try it. There is already a video I made on how to set it up. Or you can check out my blog article where I expand on like how to do this on every operating system, every type of computer video card. And yeah, I recommend you to experiment and see what works, because in a world where everything is based off of company profits and paying off shareholders, you can't rely on the companies to have your best interest. You have to look at what's working for you and how you can cut back on the exploitative nature of social media. So this is one of the ways. And if you want more experiments like this, I love testing stuff out. As I said, I'm already doing a lot of coaching with porn addiction because this is the reason I tested a lot of things out. There were things that worked and things that didn't. And that's how I'm passing on the knowledge to people in need. So if you want more experiments like this, hit subscribe, like the video, and it tells me that this stuff is worth recording and this stuff is worth sharing with others. Thank you very much for watching. Coach Nick is out.